Hi, it's Bravo21 here, glider pilot and sim developer. I'm just going to be demonstrating a competition finish followed by a decent landing at a gliding airfield. Just to show the steps you really should be trying to follow to do this properly. In a sim you can wing it, but pretty much what I'm going to show you is most of what would be expected in a real glider on a proper landing that you could do with an instructor sitting in the back, and you'd be reasonably happy with it. Okay, here we are in the LS4. I'm on a final glide towards Lasham, just south of Basingstoke. We're just passing over Basingstoke here, the exotic M3. So we're really not far from Lasham. We should be able to see Lasham in the distance. And I'm just going to show a reasonable landing. I'm going to give it a go. So first off, I'm going to start dumping the ballast. We don't want to land with any ballast on board. So we'll check if we've done that in time. Actually, we've got 7.5 kilometers to go, but we're going to do a proper pattern and a proper landing. You'll see you can see we're dumping the ballast here. And there's actually a ballast indicator on the panel. Okay, so we're heading for home. High-speed final glide. Ah, yeah, you can just see it just there. That's Lasham. And I'll put up a picture here of the pattern we're going to be flying, and basically it's going to be a fast approach, a racing approach, followed by a pull-up. We're going to go to the high key point. The wind is from the west, 270, and we're going to do a left-hand circuit. So you see me doing the checks and these kind of things. So the nav panel in the center of the cockpit panel here is giving me a predicted arrival height. It's saying the height of the airfield is 600 feet, and we're currently going to arrive at 890, but we've got quite a lot of speed. We're doing 130 knots. There's going to be plenty of pull up there. I'm going to pull up until the right, and we're going to assume the finish line is the clubhouse, which is pretty much what we're aiming for, I think. There is, in more recent days, there is a limit of how low you're allowed to arrive. There is a plane, I think it was in Nimbus 3, once arrived in the car park that we're about to fly over. It didn't quite make it. Here we go, here's the finish coming. This will be the clubhouse, I think, underneath us. And Bravo 21. Okay, so here's where you would be changing flaps pretty rapidly now. So I'm going up to what we're going to call high key points, where it's 700 feet, 1200 feet. It's about 700 foot above the airfield. I'm doing 60 knots here. I'm more or less pointing into wind now. Okay, so I'm going to do a left-hand circuit. The ballast is all gone, which is a plus. You can see me going around here. Not easy to do. I fly with 3 monitors, by the way, normally. And 1 monitor just to record this. We're going to do the downwind checks. Let's just check we're going down. Not easy with this 1 monitor. Yep, we're going downwind. So water gone. Undercarriage. I'm going to hit G to lower the undercarriage. Gear's gone down. You can see this light has come on. Water, undercarriage, flaps, speed. Airspeed on the ground is something like 8 knots. So 60 will be fine. It's something like 55 plus half the wind speed is kind of what you're thinking of. Water, undercarriage, flaps, speed, trim. Yeah, I'm going to reduce my trim slightly actually, just so that I'm not fighting the stick to keep the speed. Getting a little bit behind the curve. I'm going to be turning around. Speed, trim, air brakes. Yeah, it definitely worked. Lookout. And mainly we're looking at down there to see if there's things pulling across the runway or whatever. I'm not going to land on the runway, I'm going to land on the grass to the right of the runway. I'm too slow now. See, the speed has kind of dropped off. My excuses, I'm using the mouse and the joystick. Lookout, followed by landing. So you get lined up on a nice straight approach. Here we go. I am going to land to the right on the grass to the right of the runway. half air brake. I can see I'm coming in. See, I've sped up. That's because I pushed the nose forward because I can see we're a little bit high. Whereas what I should have been doing is working the air brakes. So I'm coming in with about half air brakes. I'm still maintaining 60 knots. I'm trying to look to the right and keep this speed. See, I've got the air brakes half open. Coming in. Past the trailers to the right. I learned to fly here. One of my trailers used to be one of these. Speed's dropping off 55 knots, so I'm keeping the nose down. I'll ease off the air brake actually. Keeping the speed, I'm going pretty much straight into wind. We're just going to clear this taxiway, I think. I'm just double checking the gear is down. Still on relatively little air brake. I'm making sure we get across this taxiway. Okay, opening the air brakes a little bit more and flaring for the landing. Okay, so I'll put the picture back up again. In a sec, we can all relax. So here we are at Lasham. These are kind of like mobile home caravans. Clubhouses over there. Good rock cakes in there, always has been. Trailers are kind of back here. And we tend to launch from this side of the runway, up there. Okay, so that was, we came in from the right here, did a high, it was like a competition finish. Okay, we came in, hit the finish line, pulled up to the right, up to high key point, which I reckon we got about 600 feet above the airfield. I'm not exactly sure, we can check when we have a look at it. And then flew a perfectly decent pattern. You didn't see me looking left and right as manically as I would have been if it would have been a real glider, just that's slightly more awkward to do with a mouse. Yeah, turn base leg, turn left onto finals, at which point we're going into wind. And those woof stall checks, water, undercarriage, flaps, speed, trim, air brakes, lookout, landing. They kind of assume you've already worked out which way the wind is going and which way you're going to land. So you're going to land into wind, and whatever you're landing in, you're going to look at the size, the slope, and the surface. Okay, so those are the 3 S's. But that kind of the 3 S's kind of assume you checked the wind. You always land uphill, and you always land into wind. And I know from experience, given a choice between into wind and uphill, you definitely pick uphill. So trying to land downhill is just really hard. Okay, but ideally into wind, uphill on a decent surface, and obviously airfield works like a boss. First thing to know though is which way is the wind going. You're going to double check you got that right as you're kind of coming in. All right, thanks for watching.